Dayashil?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. So this chapter begins. Context of this chapter. It is we learned that in the previous chapter that Yudhishthira Maharaj sent Arjuna in Dwarka uh, to know what Lord's next plan, to know about Lord Krishna. So he was not returning after from so many days. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very much concerned, and after 7 months he returned. So after a long stay, when Arjuna returned back, his face was completely dejected. His head was down. His tears gliding from his eyes. So, seeing him in such condition, Yudhishthir Maharaj raised some many reasons for the many speculative reasons. So, in the final verse of 14th chapter, Yudhishthir Maharaj pointed out the right reason that the situation might arises because that he may lose his most intimate friend, Lord Krishna, Hridayano Atma Bandhuna. So Krishna is a friend, supreme a friend of everyone. He's Suridam Sarvabhutanam. And Sukdev Goswami highlighted many symptoms of Arjuna, what he was feeling, and the probable reasons why such happened. So, as Arjuna lost his friend Krishna, so he was feeling very much separated. That's why he was, it is Krishna Vishlesha Karshita. He was feeling so much separated from Lord Krishna. So, this is the case of a pure devotee. They cannot remain separated from Lord for a moment. So his symptoms such that his face was dried up, Sushad Badana. His heart was dried up, his lotus-like heart dried up, like rich Saraju, and his bodily luster has gone. Hatoprava. So, this was happened because he was pranaya okantaya katara. He was very distressed because of eagerly thinking of the affection of Lord for him. And he was constantly remembering Supreme Lord's various dealings with him as his well-wisher Shokhom, his mm, friend Maitri, and Shuridam, and he was Sharato Adishu Samsmaranam. So Arjuna was continuously remembering. He became his chariot driver. So after losing Krishna, Arjuna was thinking that he loses many things. He loses many things because of losing Lord Krishna. Like he lost his astounding power, his aporitam tejo. He lost his power. So Arjuna was very much, very valiant fighter. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, he was feeling that he has no power. So actually, these powers are given. Powers are given to him. Lord given to such particular persons or his associates some specific power just to execute some mission. After the fulfillment of that mission, Lord takes away that power. So actually, all power and energy comes from Supreme Lord only. So after the mission complete, the Lord takes away that loss. So lesson from that we should learn that we should not feel pride or puffed up by any of the powers which is borrowed from Supreme Lord. So the Prabhupada write in the purport that the best use of such powers is to use in the service of the Lord only. And when Krishna was with him, so Arjuna could do many astounding feats, like in this in incident which is mentioned here, that in the Arjuna vanquishes of the lusty princess assembled at the palace of King Drupada. So when Drupada arranged a Sayambara ceremony to give his daughter, so Arjuna came there as a poor Brahmana, and Drupada contrived a plan that anyone who hit the fish target, which is a fish which is hanging in the roof, and in the floor there was a water pot, and the reflection, by seeing the reflection only, those who hit the fish target, they can win Draupadi. So Draupadi know that only Arjuna could do this, and other person Karna can do this. So when Arjuna win Draupadi, then in that assembly Karna was there. So um, Drishtadyumna, Draupadi's brother, he said that anyone who is lower than Kshatriya cannot take my sister. So in this way, Draupadi tactfully avoided Karna. So when Arjuna was going out with Draupadi, so Karna tried to protest them, and there was a stiff fight with Arjuna. So Arjuna win such battle. In this battle, it is only because of Lord Krishna's mercy. And next incident, he had mentioned that in the Khandava forest, demon Maya demon saved. In the Khandava forest, there is an incident happened that Maya demon was set on fire, and he was attacked by the wrath of Lord Krishna. And he took shelter of Arjuna. Arjuna protected him. Arjuna protected him. And Maya demon, being very much satisfied on Arjuna offered him some gift, but Arjuna refused. But Krishna wanted that he should uh, make a
Yes.
yes, he built a wonderful assembly house because he was master in that. Um, he built a wonderful assembly house for Pandavas, and many kings in that forest, they, seeing that wonderful, extraordinary assembly house, they took shelter of the Pandavas, mainly Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, this was by the grace of grace of a devotee, because Arjuna protected Maya demon, that's why he was saved. So Lord Krishna, uh, want that if devotee grace someone, then he can get the mercy of Lord. So devotee's mercy is more important than the Lord. That's why devotee want that Gopi Bharta Padaka Melur Daso Dasano Daso. So someone actually if anyone want to become the devotee of Lord, first of all, they have to become the devotee of the devotee. In the next incident, it is mentioned that Jarasandha, incident of Jarasandha, Bhima killed Jarasandha. Jarasandha is a demon. He was joined in two parts, and Jarasandha was relative of Kamsa. When Kamsa was killed by Krishna, then Jarasandha took um, helped took the side of Kamsa and fight with Krishna. And Lord Krishna then planned to kill him. Then Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima, they all three went to him as a poor Brahmana. Then there was a dealings with them that he will fight with Bhima every day. After many days, Bhima could not defeat him, and then Lord Krishna told him that this secret that he is joined in two parts. So if he bifurcate again, then he will be killed. So in this way, they defeat Jarasandha. So this is Lord Krishna's mercy. And next incident is mentioned that in the Rajasuya sacrificial ceremony, when Queen Draupadi dressed very nicely and sanctified for the great Rajasuya sacrificial ceremony, when Pandavas lost in a bed with the Kauravas, so Dushasana touched her hair, glorified hair, and insulted her. So at that time, Draupadi fell down at Lord Krishna's lotus feet and cried very much. So after that incident, so because of that incident in the after the Kurukshetra war, when all the grandson of Dhritarashtra they were loosed in the battle, so Lord Krishna make their all the wives of the soldiers and sons and grandson of Dhritarashtra loosen their hair. That means they become widows. So here the teachings is that Lord never tolerates insults upon his devotees. By insulting a great soul, one has to forego all the results of pious acts and benediction also. And in another incident, when Durvasha Muni, there was a Durvasha Muni who always visits with his 10,000 disciple, intrigued a plan with actually Duryodhana planned this. Once Durvasha Muni visited Duryodhana's house, Duryodhana, then somehow Duryodhana satisfied Durvasha Muni. So being satisfied by his service, so Durvasha Muni gave him a wanted to give him a benediction, but Duryodhana very tactfully he planned that Durvasha Muni to visit Yudhishthir, who was in exile in the Pandavas, and they will visit in that time only when they already took their lunch, and all of them took their lunch, even Draupadi also, because after when Draupadi got a very miraculous pot, it is called Akshay Patra. Um, she can feed anyone, any number of guests. But the condition is that Draupadi would not finish his eating. But as they visited after Draupadi's eating, so Draupadi cannot feed them. So when they arrived, Yudhishthira Maharaj sent them for their noontime religious rites in the river, and but Draupadi, being very much worried how to serve them, and she prayed to Lord Krishna and cried before Lord Krishna Then at that scene, Lord Krishna appeared and uh, told her to feed him, to give him food. But Draupadi cannot give because it is already finished. So there was a little vegetable stick on the pot. So she offered that. By eating that small portion of vegetable, Lord Krishna becomes satisfied. So as Lord Krishna satisfied, all the Durvasha Muni and his disciples, they also felt satisfied. So they think that they will not uh, go again to Yudhishthira Maharaj, because as if they cannot honor the food, that is not seem too good. That will be offended. So they think that they will return instead of going. So in this way, so Lord
Prabhu,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry. Don't repeat all this. Just give the teachings and just give the summary. You, it is too elaborate. Just don't repeat what is written. Just give the teachings from these pastimes, if you have any, and little fast forward. Okay?
Okay, bro. So from this story, we can learn that Lord becomes satisfied by very little, very little offering only. Even satisfied very little grain of food. So we have to offer. This is the teachings. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that we should offer to Lord Krishna before eating, because of by that we can if we can feed any number of people, there will be no scarcity. And in the next incident, it is mentioned that uh, once Arjuna could have a fight with Lord Shiva, and he was satisfied Lord Shiva and other demigods in the heaven. So they awarded him weapons, their respective weapons. So this was only because of mercy of Lord Krishna. So Arjuna could visit heavenly kingdom in this body only. This is important point. In heaven, Arjuna get respect and get elevated seat, offered him elevated seat, and all the demigods took shelter of him because of his Gandiva bow. He was a very powerful weapon, Gandiva bow, and he killed the demon Nivatakacha. Nivatakacha is a demon who is son of Kashyapa and Diti, Asura. It is said that there are 30 million such demons. So we can see that Arjuna become powerful by he is accepting that this is by Lord Krishna's grace only, that he become he is getting so such powers. And Arjuna is remembering that military strength of Kauravas like an ocean, in which there dwell many invincible existences. There are many extraordinary fighters like Drona, Kripacharya, Karna, etc. But still he could defeat them. So in this way, he
Prabhu, little fast, please. You are pausing too much.
okay.
Speaking of flow,
Yes, Arjuna Arjuna was protected the weapon, deadly weapon which was thrown towards him. Like Prahlada Maharaj was saved because, when his father attacked him. He, Hiranyakashipu thrown him in fire, throw him in boiling oil and top of a hill underneath of legs of an elephant. So, although such attack, he was saved. Prahlad Maharaj was saved. So Arjuna was like that. And another incident that when Arjuna got down from his chariot to collect water his thirsty horses, by Krishna's mercy, he was neglected by enemies to be killed.
Are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Why are you pausing so long?
So, and in the next section, Arjuna remembered his friendly relation with Lord Krishna and his beautiful, pleasing gesture. So, Lord Krishna call him, addresses him as O son of Pritha, O friend, O son of Kuru dynasty, like that. So, such addresses very pleased Arjuna. So, he was remembering all this.
Which
So both
verses
of
are
them.
these? You have not mentioned the verses number. What are these verses number?
There is a section, Prabhuji, this is
What
starting
is
from
the
18.
verse number? I don't know where. Who knows this section? You are presenting from which verse to which verse?
This is from verse 18, Prabhuji, 18, 19, in these two verses.
Only two verses. Okay, go ahead.
So both of them live together, sleep together, sit and loiter together. Although Krishna is Supreme Lord, used to tolerate all those friendly uttering of Arjuna, excuses everything as a true friend. So Krishna never take offenses such because of such dealings of Arjuna. So there was a verse in Bhagavad Gita 41, 42 also like that, that Arjuna was seeking excuses from Lord Krishna, that he consider him as a friend only, normal
Chapter?
friend.
Which chapter? 41,
11
42?
11.41 and 42.
Please
in
be
that,
specific. Please don't assume that everyone knows whatever you are speaking. You have to give proper reference.
Actually, these two verses are clubbed together, Prabhuji, 41 and 42. In
Which
that
chapter?
verse only, 11th chapter.
Which book?
Bhagavad Gita 11.41.
Did you speak Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter? Did anyone hear Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter? You have to give
So
Okay,
Lord
continue.
Krishna like this very much, that in such informal relationship, Lord Krishna relishes actually such if someone accept him as friend or parents or fiancés, like that. It is proper written that even someone recite Vedic hymns very nicely, then also he is not satisfied much. So Lord Krishna relishes such relations. He is Akhil Rasalo Murti, he is called. In the next verse, other consequences that Arjuna faced after losing Lord Krishna, that Arjuna loses a battle against a number of infidel cowherd men while guarding all the wives of Lord Krishna. So when Lord Krishna returned to Dwarka, Arjuna protected and guard the wives of Lord Krishna, 16,108 wives to Dwarka to Hastinapura. And in the way they were attacked by many infidel cowherd men, and Arjuna could not protect. They were taken away. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned, quoting to Puranas, Vishnu Puran and Brahma Puran, that it is not possible for such rocks to touch even touch the wives of Lord Krishna without the desire of Lord Krishna. Because earlier, what happened in the heaven, that Ashtavakra Muni was Ashtavakra Muni cursed the fair denizens of heaven, that being dissatisfied on them, that they will, even if they get the husband of Lord Krishna, Supreme Lord as their husband, they will they will lose, they will be kidnapped by rogues. So but in order to keep the words of the great Muni, the Lord himself kidnapped his wives from the protection of Arjuna. So it is mentioned that actually Lord kidnapped them from the protection of Arjuna. And then Arjuna's powerful Gandiva bow, which was offered to him by Lord Krishna, was no longer as powerful as previous. And then actually it is mentioned that actually the power comes from Lord Krishna only, all power. Like electrical energy, bulb and fan, they works because of the electrical powerhouses. If powerhouse stop supplying power, then they will no longer be effective. So like that, all powers are coming from Supreme Lord. If you stop giving this material world, if Lord Krishna don't mm, gives power to everyone, then all will be like a so in this way, and we see that when Lord Krishna returned the Yadu dynasties, they comes to an end. The Yadu members, they become puffed up by pride, and so they all become burden for this earth. So Lord Krishna wanted them to be killed by fighting one another. That the stronger Yadu kill the weaker, and the so this is Lord Krishna's renunciation opulence, that he wanted to and to destroy his such opulent kingdom. So Arjuna was remembering all those mercy of Lord Krishna for him and his brothers. So to get rid of his dejection, of his such pitiful situation, he was decided to remember Lord Krishna's instruction to him, which was imparted during the Kurukshetra was Bhagavad Gita. So we know that Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic wisdom. So it is Bhagavad Gita is the essence. When Lord Krishna returned, he keep this knowledge for us. Krishna sadam upagate dharma jnanadevi saha kalar nashta dishamesha puranarko adhunadita. That Bhagavad Puran also appeared when Lord Krishna returned. So this is non-different from Lord. This is called Shabda Brahma, or Srila Prabhupada mentioned that thus the Bhagavad Gita or any authentic scriptural sound representation of the Lord is also the incarnation of the Lord. So we have to Arjuna was remembering the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. In Kurukshetra, what teachings of Bhagavad Gita solved Arjuna's problem? So we see that before beginning of the Kurukshetra war, Arjuna was very much such a situation also happened with him due to fear, and this knowledge only gave him solace, and he get the solution. Now in this same situation happened here. This is but due to affection for Lord Krishna only, and so again Arjuna was remembering those instructions of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna was referring Bhagavad Gita, although he was teaching us that we should also we should also take instructions from Lord from through Bhagavad Gita in any situation, in any situation of our life to get the perfect solution. So Arjuna then gone in. Then Sudha Goswami said that Arjuna then absorbed in thinking of the instruction of Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship and thinking of his lotus feet. So Arjuna was complete deep meditation of on Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus his mind become pacified. So his there are many symptoms. Some positive symptoms appeared. Rapidly increases his devotion. His stress in his thoughts subsided. He again become a lord of his senses. So actually, Lord is the absolute. Absolute is if we meditate upon him. So this is like yogic trance. If one can, in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 6.47, it is said, Yaginam upi sarvesham gadentara atmana Shraddhavan bhajate jivamam some yukta tamamata. So meditating on Supreme Lord is the highest of all yoga. So if we meditate, remember his pastimes, his form, his entourage, his actions, then this is non-different from Lord. This is also a yoga. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that Krishna Nama, Krishna Guna, Krishna Lila Vrinda, Krishna Ro Sharupa Shama, Shabachid Ananda. So this is all like all are equal to Lord Krishna. Mahaprabhu once in a conversation with Ramananda Rai told Ramananda Rai that Kaharo Smorano Jiva Kiva Anukshana Krishna Namo Gunolila Pradhana Smorano. Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Raya, what should all living entities constantly remember? Then in reply, Ramananda Rai said, the chief objects of remembrance are always the Lord's holy name, quality, and pastimes. Mentioning a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.2.36, Tasmat Sarvat Manav Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada Shrutabba Kirtitabbascha Smaratabba Bhagavan Ninam. So always one should remember Shrutabha here, Kitatabha glorify, and Smaratabha remember the activities of Lord. So by remembering Lord Krishna, Arjuna's doubts and duality were completely cut off. Doubts and duality was completely cut off. In Bhagavad Gita also, in the verse 18.73, Arjuna said, after hearing Bhagavad Gita instruction from Lord Krishna, he said, Nashto muha smritir labda tat prasadan muchyate mayachyuta sthito asmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. That his all doubt has disappeared. So now he want to act whatever Krishna tell him. And he became free from three modes of material nature and placed in transcendence. Lord Krishna also assured this in Bhagavad Gita 14.26 that anyone who will meditate on Supreme Lord Krishna will be free from three modes of material nature. Mamcho jo abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena shevate sagumnan samatiyaitan brahma bhuyayo kalpate. And he will be situated in Brahma. So in this way, we see that Arjuna become regain his transcendental position, highest. Arjuna become freed from birth death cycle, and in the next verse, in the subsequent verse, we will. So as Supreme Lord Krishna returned, and very bad symptoms, such negative symptoms are start evolving. So seeing all such things, Maharaj Yudhishthira also decided to go back home, back to Godhead. So we see that Maharaj Yudhishthira, he voluntarily decided to return. He do not wait for any calamity on his own self. Seeing all these things, he decided to return voluntarily. So this is the case of perfect devotee. This is opposite to Dhritarashtra. We see that Dhritarashtra, when he lost his all sons lost, but still he was in his palace. Was and then when Vidura chastised him, then he left. So when such everyone should take retirement. So in the Varnashrama system, after 75 years age, it is prescribed that everyone should take sannyas or leave home. This is the prescription of the Shastras. And in the next verse, we learn that Kunti Devi also, she was very pure, very good, was pure devotee of Supreme Lord. She also decided, she also start meditating on Supreme Lord very attentively. She also engaged in devotional service in the transcendental personality of Godhead with full attention, and thus gained release from the curse of material existence. So Kunti Devi was very very realized soul. She in her prayer we learned that she prayed before Lord, Sneho Pasham Imam Chindi Driram Pandushu Vrishnishu. Please sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. So she also voluntarily prays to cut off her family relations so that she can engage in full attention to Supreme Lord. So then Yudhishthira Maharaj prepared to leave. Before leaving his palace, he did some managerial preparation for his kingdom, that he engaged his grandson Parikshit Maharaj in the kingdom of Hastinapura, and he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Krishna, in the Mathura province. By giving his all responsibility to them, he performed Prajapatta sacrifices, and he poured the burn ashes in him. Yudhishthira Maharaj relinquished all his princely garments and became completely detached. He became like a mendicant. He lived palace. He is situated in trance by yogic process. He followed many yogic principles before leaving his body. And then he proceeded towards north, in which through the the path which follows his forefathers, Dhritarashtra, and his wives. Then younger brothers of Yudhishthira Maharaj also followed him. Uh, So all the Pandava brothers, they are pure devotee of the Lord and strict follower of religious principles throughout their life. So they meditated on Lord Krishna. And they know that Supreme Lord is the goal of the ultimate goal of life. So meditated upon Him without interruption. Thus they attain the supreme spiritual sky, ruled over by the Lord Krishna. And in the verse number 49, it is said Vidura also left his body at Prabhasha. He was incarnation of Yamraja. So he was received by the denizens of Pitraloka planet and regained his position as Yamraja. Then Draupadi and Subhadra, they sing that their husband also left them. They are also pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So uh, they are also absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attain the same result as their husband. And in the final verse 51, Sukadeva Goswami gave benediction that anyone who hears this narration with devotion, faith, certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. So the Pandavas, they are very pure, very much pure devotee, and they are how they ended their life. So this is very much very learning for us, and we should take inspiration how they attained Supreme Lord's lotus feet. So this is the benediction. So I'm ending my presentation. Thank you all. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Maybe I think Pranab Prabhuji, I think it was a nice presentation, and maybe uh, Prabhuji will be.
Okay, Prabhuji, we can wind up, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji is here. So, yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, Pranab Prabhuji has concluded his presentation.
Okay. Do you review?
So, thank you, Pranab
That's the
Prabhuji.
thing, but Pranav,
Yes.
I have told you, you don't have to repeat verse to verse. What is the point in repeating the entire? You have to present what is the understanding, what is the key message, what is the learning, and what is the teaching for all of us. Why, taking so much of time each verse to verse? So many times in the last few presentations, I almost slept. It was so boring. I was sleeping. Tell me, what is the learning from this chapter?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It was learning that how ardent devotee of Pandavas, how they were prepared their retirement from this material life, how they leave home. Although they won the battle, they have everything, the kingdom, but still they left only to achieve the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. How Arjuna, by remembering Bhagavad Gita, the instructions of Supreme Lord Krishna, how he gets solace, and so we have to take our turn to Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Krishna, and inculcate the message of Lord Krishna in our life.
What opulence is exhibited here?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
What is the main characteristic of this chapter? What is being showed from this chapter? Why is it such a long? Arjuna is remembering this, Arjuna is remembering that. Why everything is being repeated?
It is to again emphasize that how Krishna's mercy and grace is in every acts, in every actions. There is Krishna's mercy and grace. We have to remember these things. All
Okay.
powers are coming from Lord Krishna only.
Devotees, if you have any question, please ask him. No one has to ask anything. Actually, this chapter depicts the detachment and renunciation of the Pandavas. That they took up the kingdom only to please the Lord. And as soon as the Lord returned, they also returned. Tyakta turnam shesha mandalpati. They immediately gave up all the opulence, all the kingdom, whatever riches and comfort they were having, they immediately rejected it. This shows a person who is spiritually elevated, he has no material affinity. His only affinity is to serve the Lord, to please the Lord. And this is what is shown from this chapter, that the Pandavas retired timely. And the incident where the queens were kidnapped by the infidel was no one else but the Lord Himself. As far as I remember, the Acharya says, who can defeat Arjuna or who can touch the queens of Lord Krishna? It was Krishna himself who disguised as infidel cowards and came and kidnapped the wives. Did you cover that?
Yes, Prabhuji. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quoted from Brahma Puran and Vishnu Puran.
Okay. But it is very, very, boring kind of presentation. And so such a long pauses in between, I slept in the pause. I told you many times that if you speak like this, I'll sleep. And that's also very difficult to keep concentration. You should present the Shastra in a very absorbing in an attractive way. You don't have to just repeat verbatim, just reading out everything. And with such long pauses. Okay, so we'll end here. Anyone has any question or anything to say, to comment, please speak. Please feel free. Manurab? Hare Krishna.
Uh, Many aspects what Pranab Prabhu has presented, including Krishna's topmost quality. It was once that what Arjuna was remembering, that Krishna empowered everyone, but he was never attached to anyone. And Pandavas also, they could realize it and they inculcate afterwards. They practice this renunciation. So, and Kunti Maharani, everyone they followed. So I think this is the effect of devotee association. All were the devotees. So they followed each other. Means as soon as Pandavas decided, so Kunti Maharani and everyone, then they also followed that they should be following the pure devotional path, and thus they uh, followed how to go back to Godhead. So I think this was, and while discussing also, like verse number 32, I have written that while discussing also, Prabhuji, you told that this is the sum and substance of this chapter. That as soon as Yudhishthira Maharaj, he heard Krishna's going back, so he also thought that he also should prepare for going back to Godhead. And this was the turning point for all other Pandavas also. So I think this is the message we need to practice. And Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Pranab Prabhuji. One thing maybe initially, at the end, you have put the verse numbers. So if initially it was there, uh, although slides will be there, we can again go through. So just putting the verse numbers, I think we could have, we could have means connected. Although we could connect, but still bus numbers will be good. But I think the points, many things from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the verses you have quoted. So once again, if we go through, I think it will be very, very much beneficial for all of us. So thank you so much, Prabhuji and Pranab Prabhu.
So who has the next chapter? 16th chapter? Ramya,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes.
when you will be able to present?
Prabhuji, day after tomorrow.
Okay. So tomorrow I'll take the class. Today I went after 32 years to my college from where I passed in Delhi, Delhi School of Economics. Devotees had organized a preaching program there, and I was really, what should I say, I felt so enlivened. Such quality preaching is happening there. This was the first program today in Delhi School of Economics. It's a very, very prestigious college, and this was a very official program. And it was in the same Department of Commerce from where I studied. So Rishi Kumar Prabhu was to give the lecture, and he pulled me. He told me that you must come with me. And I couldn't say no to him. And I was thrilled to see how preaching is happening. There were more than 100 students who attended, and it was a full elaborate program of more than 3 hours, official program. The dean of the commerce faculty came and inaugurated. He was there. Many teachers were there. And core Bhagavad Gita teaching was given. And there were so many volunteers from among the student community. At least 20 volunteers who were facilitating the program. And almost every student had Bhagavad Gita. There was 100 students, they all had Bhagavad Gita, who were attending the program. And then I went to the one of the centers, our DU base. There are more than 3 bases in North Campus. Almost every college they are preaching. But the problem with us is we don't have a even desire to preach. The DU base where I went, there are almost 35 students saying. It was so enlivening to see. I mean, these young devotees, they have put their heart, and Krishna is reciprocating. They arranged prasadam for us in the base. So we went there also. And I was amazed to see the size of the Jagannath deity. It is almost as big size of the temple in the DU base where they are worshipping Lord Jagannath. Such impeccable quality of deity worship and such preaching. And the DU base is just opposite to Hansraj College, exactly opposite to Hansraj College. Delhi School of Economics is hardly 500 meters. Hindu College is nearby. All the top colleges are there. And today they were telling me how they plan to penetrate into St. Stephen's also and FMS. But I don't know where the spirit is not there. The effort is also not there. So we must, be inspired to see these devotees who are actually preaching in the campuses. And they're not very good at English also. I mean, hardly they speak English, but they have this enthusiasm and desire to preach. And Krishna is reciprocating. So please make an attempt to go out and share this treasure, what we have is a gift from Srila Prabhupada in the form of Krishna consciousness that we are receiving. Okay, I'll stop here. Pranab, you made an attempt that is good, but you have to present it, at a more.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'll try to make it better.
Yeah, you have to try to make your previous presentations were much better.
I
The previous,
prepared one for 2 days. I could not prepare
if you
previously.
took so much of time and you could not prepare, then what were you doing?
Prabhuji, this was my fault actually. I just for 2 days
And this kind of presentation, I don't want that you repeat word to word. This is not a presentation. This is called copy paste. Previously, you could not see these Matajis they presented day before yesterday. Priyanka Mataji presented. Before that, Manoram Prabhu had presented. How nicely they presented. What is this that you are reading out from the purports? We don't want that reading out from the purport. That is not presentation. Then where is the preparation? Where is the understanding from the chapter? Even Pradeep Prabhu gave an excellent presentation. So please prepare properly in the proper consciousness. Don't take it lightly. Please improve. Okay, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.